Before we begin this video, have you ever noticed that most of the Mercedes on the road are either white, black, or silver in color? I'd say around 95%. Here's an example for sale. White paint, silver paint, white paint, silver paint, black paint, silver, black, black, white, white, black, white, 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 white. I could go on and on. Black, black. What happened to nice colors like metallic brown, metallic blue? Who buys these things anyway? I could say the same thing about BMW too. Just kind of curious and odd, I think. Right at our garage and test facility, I understand we've got a nice Mercedes coming this week. So let's roll it out and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, and this is a nice looking one with the metallic blue paint, which I'm sure cost extra. And some nice wheels, which I'm sure cost extra. And a convertible roof. We all know that costs extra. Pretty sharp looking from the side as well. And the rear view. By the way, 1 week ago we also drove the 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLE 63S AMG Turbo, 603 horsepower and 133,000 bucks. We'll have a link for that video coming up at the end of this video. And for those who have less money, a 2020 Mercedes CLA 250. We'll have a link for that video too. So you can 3 car tests for the price of 1. Let's go at the beginning, starting with the price tag. This is the C300 series. If you get the 4-door sedan, they usually start around $42,000. If you get the coupe, $46,000. This particular convertible will start around $54,000. But as always, options galore. Let's start with the metallic blue paint, $720 bucks. $1,600 for the nice leather interior. $500 extra for these nice wheels. I tell you what, why don't we save time? I'll just scroll down the window sticker and show you the price of everything. And the total tab. And for the money, looks like we're getting a real German car. And you press the magic button, the roof disappears into the trunk. Where else would it go? I'm curious to see how much room we've got back here. According to the material I read, it's 12 cubic feet with the top up, 8 cubic feet, 8.8 actually with the top down, but I don't see any difference whether the top is up or down. I just see there's not much room in here for gear and cargo, either way. And as you might have guessed, there's no spare tire in the trunk, so make sure your cell phone's charged so you can call for help if you get a flat. If you have more money, you can get a V6 or V8 in this. Otherwise, you're going to get this little 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, putting out 255 horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque, hooked to a 9-speed automatic transmission. I've driven this already, and it's pretty peppy, a very strong engine. We'll show you that a little bit later in the video. Here's the claim fuel economy. We're going to step in the cabin and take a peek, but first I want to call your attention to the door design. The door doesn't come down very far. You have this excess body work that collects all kinds of dust, dirt, mud. It means when you step inside, this is going to rub on your pants and get your pants dirty. Just a trait of German cars, you have to live with it. Handy to keep a rag and wipe this down every now and then, especially if you're driving in rain or snow. But on the positive side, this is a very nice cabin. Quality materials and workmanship, first rate. About as nice as the more expensive E and S series Mercedes-Benz I've driven lately. They didn't do any cost cutting here. If you want to figure out Mercedes-Benz controls and switches, the best thing to do is ignore the owner's manual. Just step inside, give yourself a couple hours and press every button 100 times and you'll figure it out real quick. The glove box is large enough. We get a genuine real clock, and under that we have the storage area for your cell phone and a couple of cup holders. Fortunately, the climate controls are very easy to operate, very simple. Unusual in a German car, but they're learning. Here's the drive mode switch. Individual, Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort, Eco. Pardon the glare, but we're outside and the top is down, so that's just the way it is. You have several choices for your gauge cluster. Here's the Sport, Classic, and Progressive. The glare is showing up on the camera but doesn't really show up in person, so don't worry about it. Just the price I pay of using a cheap camera, I guess. I haven't read the specifications on these brakes yet, but looking at the size, I'd say they're going to stop pretty quick. This covers the first half of the video, show and tell. Second half we're going to go out and do some driving. We'll start by taking these headlights out in the dark, and am I seeing right? There's actually 8 bulbs on each side, or is that just a reflection? I bet these are pretty expensive to fix. It says LED high performance, and we'll find out soon enough. It's dark enough. Let's take these headlights out and see what they do. They look pretty bright to me. All 8 bulbs. That's a lot. Here we have the low beams on a building 100 feet away. Very, very bright, but no height at all. Very low. Adequate for the city, but in the country you're not going to be able to do very well with that. You're going to need the brights. Again, real bright, but not much height. You would think with 8 bulbs on each side it would do better, but this is what we get. It is bright in the center, though. Here the headlights are on a building 300 feet away. Bright enough, nothing fantastic. Go to low beam. Cutoff is way too short, around 200 feet. Like I said, on the back country roads, you're going to need the brights on as much as possible. Low beams are for city use only. And here's what the reverse camera looks like in the dark. Not the biggest picture I've ever seen, but very sharp. Excellent image quality. So no point in complaining. By the way, since we're paying extra for ventilated seats, I'm assuming that they're also air-conditioned and heated, but I've gone through the whole menu and I can't find anything that says air-conditioned seats or heated seats, so I guess it's going to take some time to figure that out, as it always does with German cars. I've got to tip my hat to Mercedes. They've finally gotten their power steering system right. Good feel, excellent feedback. Feels like a good old-fashioned hydraulic system. They're learning. I don't think there's going to be any complaints. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour, see how the suspension performs on impact. And here comes bump number 1. Pretty soft. Number 2. Number 3, and the nasty one that makes me cringe. Yeah, I felt that one, but still pretty smooth. No complaints here. By the way, on a Mercedes vehicle, this is where they put the power seat controls on the door. A very good spot. I think it's where they belong. I'm going to be taking this to the mountains on tight curvy roads later on in the video, but since we're here at the turning circle, let's give it a go. See if we can spin this out. By the way, this is available in all-wheel drive if you're driving on slick roads. This is simply two-wheel, rear-wheel drive. hanging in there pretty good. The claimed 0 to 60 time is 5.7 to 6.2 seconds, depending on what model you get. Two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, convertible, hardtop sedan. But either way, this is an excellent engine. Pulls from low RPM, pretty smooth and quiet. No complaints whatsoever from me. It takes off right from the line. No delay. And typical Mercedes brakes. Absolutely perfect. This vehicle has a mileage computer in the infotainment system, one of the dumbest systems I've ever seen, pretty much useless. And now it's saying we're getting 2.4 mpg because we just started up. Ignore that. We have a better system on the gauge cluster that resets, and according to this, 1,389 miles, 23.5 mpg. And now I've reset it. We're going to take a highway trip, see what type of fuel economy we get, cruising at 75 miles per hour. I'm hoping to hit 30 mpg. We'll find out soon enough. And enough of sport mode. I like the classic mode. If you take a lot of highway trips, the C300 might be a good choice. It's smooth, quiet, comfortable. The wind noise is low and usual for a convertible. Great stability, very nice seats. Great sound system. I'm not allowed to play it because of copyright infringement. YouTube will get mad at me. Overall, very comfortable for long trips. Of course, with a tiny trunk that won't accept much luggage and a cramped interior, you probably won't be taking very many long trips because you can't take much gear with you. But to solve that problem, there's always the C300 four-door sedan. A lot more room in that one. You have that, or this little convertible. Take your pick. And just a note here about build quality. I do like Japanese and Korean cars, but I don't like their flimsy body structures. Kind of like tin can, like, if you know what I mean. You don't have to worry about that on a Mercedes. It's a very solid body structure. You can feel it when you're driving. I guess that's what we're paying for, right? This is the end of our highway trip. We'll pull over and see what the fuel economy computer says. I'm shooting for 30 mpg, but now we'll see. Now 37 miles, averaging 29.0 mpg. Close enough. We're going to do some back road driving, take some tight corners, and not concerned about fuel economy. In fact, I'm going to put it in the Sport or Sport Plus mode. Here's an example of how the headlights can disappear when you take dips when you're on low beam. Doesn't go out very far. If you're driving on backcountry roads, you definitely need the high beams. Especially when you consider all the wildlife that's out here at night. Everything between skunks and mountain lions. You don't want to hit either one of those. And Mercedes has done an excellent job of refining their four-cylinder turbo engines over the years. This one's very smooth, quiet, reliable. Very impressive. Lots of bottom end torque too. Give you all the throttle response you want. I'm also surprised how a suspension that drives so smooth can take corners so well. This definitely sticks to the road. I'm not even trying yet. This isn't the quickest or best handling car I've ever driven, but it's the overall performance and refinement that impresses me. Very nice package overall. I reset the fuel economy computer before I start taking all these curves. Should be Be interesting to see what the MPG is going to be when we're done. But I really don't care because I'm having too much fun. This is a very nice car. I think it's time to put the top down. Get some fresh air. Yep. No roof. Should be interesting to see what the wind noise level is. It seems pretty quiet to me, considering I have no roof. Nothing like having a little wind in your hair. This car would be absolutely awesome with the more powerful V6 or V8 engines, but I've seen the price tags on those and a little bit too expensive for me. Maybe not for you. That was a nice 33-mile run. Fuel economy 13.5. No wonder I'm running out of gas. Time to head back to town and wrap up this video. Well, we got 29 miles to the gallon going to, which I think was uphill. 34.6 coming back, which is probably downhill. Add it up, divide by 2, that's what, around 32 mpg, 31 mpg. Somewhere in there. I'd say it's a pretty good figure overall. So what's my take on this Benz after a week of driving? I have to tell you I'm very, very impressed. The overall driving experience is just as nice as the E and S series that are more expensive. Obviously Mercedes spent a lot of time making this car right, and it shows. Naturally, I wasn't impressed with these headlights. You think with 18 bulbs you can put out more light, but it's not nitpick. Overall, the car is excellent and definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a baby Benz. Here are some links to other Mercedes vehicles we've driven. Just click and watch.